Brooklyn Brothers Sports Talk. Forget about it. Oh! Welcome, everybody, to Brooklyn Brothers Sports Talk Podcast, episode number 6. We're the Sage Brothers. I'm Rick.
I'm Ed.
From the borough to the big leagues.
We're your brothers in sports talk.
Now, today's podcast is the Gridiron Playoff Report, the AFC wildcard game, Chargers versus Texans. Now, before we get to this game, today's episode sponsor is the Tilted Trailer for those inclined to tow. Now, Tilted Trailer, our utility trailers are perfect for hauling various loads, whether for personal or business use. So check out their website, thetiltedtrailer.com.
In today's game, we had a blowout. The Texans versus the Chargers. 32-12. What a blowout that was. And Justin Herbert, he was 14 for 32 with a completion of 43%. He had one touchdown and 4 picks. One that went the other way for a pick 6. Out of 214 quarterbacks in the playoffs, get this, in the last 10 years, we're talking about 10 years now.
Okay.
He has a rating of 200. He's 213 out of 214 in efficiency passing. That's crazy, isn't it?
That's nuts. Bottom of the barrel.
Yeah. Look at the rushing yards. They had 50 yards rushing the Chargers. So you figure once they stopped the pass, they forced Herbert into a lot of mistakes today. Now,
Right.
if you look at the flip side, you look at C.J. Stroud. He was 22 for 33 for 282 yards. He had a pick and a touchdown. Okay. Joe Mixon ran the ball pretty well. He had 25 carries for 106 yards and a touchdown. Here's the comparison I want to make here. You had the Texans with 168 yards rushing. The Chargers only had 50. That pretty much gives you the whole synopsis of the game, correct?
That's true, Ed. Listen, that tells the tale of the game. 168 rushing yards to 50. It's lopsided. Looks like the Chargers had no chance. I thought they changed. I thought Herbert changed, but same old Herbert. 4 interceptions. I'll bet 3 of them were his fault. One was a pick 6, which is damaging. That pretty much turned the tide. And also, they didn't even score. They scored 6 points in the first half alone. You can't do anything. You have to, to do something in the red zone. You got to score touchdowns. You can't just be field goals because they'll come back to bite you.
The Chargers did have some chances at the beginning of the game. They had to set up for 3 each time.
That's what I said.
They could have went in there and got a touchdown. If you remember, in the first quarter, he overthrew McConkey, who had an opening down left hash mark over there in the corner. And they could have got a touchdown right there. But they had to settle for 3 points. Next drive, they settled for 3 again after they made a nice strip, if you remember. Yeah. So it could have been the other way, but guess what? The Texans, at the end of the day, you can say the Texans really pretty much played some solid defense across the board.
They did. In the fourth quarter, they gave no breathing room. They went for the gut. They stacked them a couple of times in the fourth quarter. Looks like the whole team gave up on them, offensive line. He had no backing at all. I mean, he made a lot of mistakes, so he was overthrowing, throwing ridiculous passes for interceptions when he had no business throwing them there. It's the same old Herbert. The team gave up. Harbaugh's going to go back to the drawing board, maybe collect some Michigan Panthers college players. Maybe they'll do better. Who knows?
Yeah, but you know what? Out of his 4 interceptions, if you look at it, one obviously was a pick 6. That was his fault. A couple other passes were tipped off his receivers into the Texans' hands. So I'd say maybe one of those picks were really at fault of his bad throw, and he did make another bad throw down the sideline. He had McConkey wide open. McConkey got behind 2 defensive backs, and he could have had a touchdown right there. But all in all, you are talking about, this is his 5th year? He's only made the playoffs twice.
Yeah. He's reminding me of my quarterback for the Cowboys, Dak Prescott. They just have that. They have the tools, but they just can't put it together. And you know how I feel about my boy Dak. I can't stand him, to be honest with you, to be straight out, as a Cowboy fan. Same thing with Herbert. I really want to root for him. Can't do it anymore. He's the same type of player.
You're right.
But anyway, move on to game 2 of the playoffs. We have the Steelers and Ravens. Right now, it's the fourth quarter. It might even be over. Last time I saw the score was 28-14 with like 3 minutes to go. The Steelers, they can't run the ball. Ravens, on the other hand, I mean, Derrick Henry had over 100 yards rushing in the first half alone, and they took the 21-0 lead at halftime. Now it's 28-14. Who knows? Could be even more. I haven't looked back. But this game is all but over. Ravens are going to be moving on. Texans already have moved on. And Ed, you did predict it. You said it's going to be a blowout. Steelers can't do anything. And I do agree.
Yeah, do you remember we were watching the game today? We were watching the Texans versus the Chargers. And right at halftime, I think you and I were talking about the Texans, way the Texans and the Chargers made mistakes. We were talking about a lot, and then we talked about what we think might happen in the second game. And I said that I think that the Steelers will get blown out. I don't think the Steelers can run the ball. They have a 1-2 punch, but if you look at the stats, they haven't been able to run that much. And I felt the Ravens knew that going into the game, if they stopped the run, they'd be able to come out on top. And so far, and I did say it was going to be a blowout, remember? I did say it was going to be a blowout.
You did say that. You did say it was going to be a blowout.
Yeah, I thought maybe, if you remember, I think, what did I say, 38-14, something like that? 38-13?
Yeah, we had like similar scores. I had 38-17. You said I think you had something like
36-14.
36-14 you had, right? We're kind of close on scores. I had 38-17, so we're around the same ballpark. Steelers can't do it. They got a great coach. But if you look at the stats during the year, passing and rushing, they were kind of like miles apart. I mean, the Ravens have a much better offense, running the ball and passing the ball. They got dual threat in the run. Lamar Jackson and Henry, they both can run, and you don't know who's going to run the ball. RPOs. They had a great game plan. They came out. They executed it. Congratulations to the Ravens.
Look, I just think that if the Chargers defense would have pinned their ears back, it didn't have 3 sacks. Mack had 2. Bosa had 1. But if they would have been able to put a little more pressure, I think, and maybe get into the rookie, not the rookie, into Stroud's lanes, his passing lanes more, and they put more pressure on him, he's prone to make more mistakes and throws the interceptions. Once you put a lot of pressure on Stroud, he starts to feel the pressure. But all in all, you're looking at the Texans and Ravens moving on to the next day. So let's move ahead.
Yeah, congratulations to both of them. Anyway, those games out of the way. Now we're moving on to tomorrow's games. We have a triple header. We have the Bills and Broncos. We have the Eagles and Packers. And we have Washington at Tampa Bay. So Bills and Broncos, I have the Bills 41-13.
Well, my prediction, at Buffalo, I'm getting Buffalo in a blowout. I think the Buffalo Bills, too much Allen, whether it be passing or running. I think the Bills come out on top, 38-17.
We're kind of close on that score, too. We agree on that one.
The second game, Green Bay and Philly. Wow. The hostile crowd, Philly. I know they're not the old Eagles of the old days, but hostile environment.
So crazy.
Green Bay, I think Philly's going to blow them out. I got a prediction of 35-14. What do you got?
We're kind of close on this one. I picked Philadelphia to win as well. We agree on that, but I got 30-17, so pretty close in scores. I guess we're seeing how the strengths and weaknesses of both teams are kind of have the same idea about these games.
Yeah, I think too much Barkley and a lot of Hurts. And they're going to be hurting the Packers. They're going to be hurting.
A lot of hurting on the Packers, too.
Yep. And then we got the third game. We got the Bucks and Commanders. I got a tight game. My prediction, Bucks 24, Commanders 21.
Well, we got a trifecta here because I also have Tampa Bay. I'm a big Baker Mayfield fan. Tampa Bay, I have a close score as well. I got 28-24. So it looks like we agree in all 3 games, and the scores are pretty close. So, again, good job with that. But we have Monday night game.
We got Minnesota.
The Vikings.
I got Minnesota 31-28. I think Darnell won't have such a bad game. Rams defensive backs and not really, anybody to speak of. And I think he'll be able to pass, and I think it'll be a tight game anyway. But both teams score at will, comparing their offense. They got 2 good quarterbacks, Bradford and Darnell. I think Darnell comes out top. Tight game, 31-28.
All right, this is probably why we disagree on one lone game. I have the Rams winning because they're playing home, right? So you have the Rams winning, and they're going to win tight game. It's going to be an offensive game, 34-28. My prediction, Sam Darnold's going to have a good game. He's going to have a good showcase for his next team when he leaves Minnesota, get a good contract somewhere. But I still have the Rams with their experience going in there and winning 34-28. That's my pick.
That's a good one. I like that. They could go either way, too, as well. That's why I have a tight game. So if the Rams did come out on top, it wouldn't shock me if they did. But I still like the Vikings. You like the Rams, which is okay. Either way, looks good. I think these games tomorrow will be full of excitement. You know, 2 blowouts and 2 close games. Not bad. Hopefully it goes that way.
Yeah, we pretty much agree on all of them except for the last Monday night game. So to all our viewers out there, we'll be back tomorrow with game day results and highlights.
Please don't forget, hit that like, subscribe button. It really helps our channel. It helps us bring you content as much as we can and keep you updated.
Now, we're the Sage Brothers.
And have a good night. God bless.
We're out.
We're out.